Hello, everyone. So, I missed posting a video yesterday because I had some dental surgery. I had a filling that failed and it was pretty bad, and the dentist kind of put one of those bands in my mouth that like spreads your gum around the tooth to be able to work on it and shit. Oh my god, I was in so much pain. When came home and the Novocaine wore off, I just like kind of slept for the last 16 hours. Finally, the pain's gone down. But of course, being an addiction counselor, I don't often use narcotics, so not unless I need them. So I kind of stay away from that stuff. So part of that was probably self-induced, if I'm honest. So on my way to the dentist, I was driving across Denver, and I actually saw a group of 4 protesters. And I wish I had my cameras on me because their signs said Syrian refugees welcome. And I don't know who they were from. They were very close to Metro University. So it was just a little awesome moment that I also missed. I've been missing a lot of shit. And if not for the country, I think that Donald Trump should probably slow down on all the shit that he's doing, just so that the commentators, like on cable news or on YouTube, can just fucking catch up, you know? Because he's done a lot of shit lately, just signing, all this stuff. And maybe that's a tactic of, well, let's split and divide our opposition by every one of their little pet projects, all their interests. We're going to touch every one of them. We're going to talk about every layer of the progressive stack and affect them in a different way. So that way they're all scrambling to talk about their own issues and they're not united. But as evidenced by the Women's March, I don't think that that's working that well. But, you know, maybe it will cause some division. You know, I don't know. Had a person say that they were unsubscribing me because I talked about SJWs and I wore a t-shirt in my video that said gay, fine by me. And they thought that that was like dog whistling towards the left or something. And I just want you to know that I don't put much thought into the t-shirts that I'm wearing at the time. I just have t-shirts and I pull them out of the closet. Today, I actually did reject the first t-shirt that I pulled out because it was my WWE t-shirt. And I just felt like not being ironic today. I only wear that shirt just for the ironic fun of the WWE brand and me together. I don't watch them past maybe watching WrestleMania every year anymore because you could get everything from the entire year in the vignettes doing all of the hype for WrestleMania. They just tell you what happened in the rest of the year up to that point. So why would you watch everything else? You could be doing so much more with your life. Like making YouTube videos and rambling on about nothing. Anyways, last night, while I was unable to really make videos and whatnot, Misty had left a copy of The Westward in the living room. And this one had a particularly fun topic, persons of interest, and it was about how Denver Police Department has been monitoring social media like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all these sites, and how the person who led the march that I filmed 2 days after the inauguration of Donald Trump, that person has now been charged with intent to distribute pot, you know, and she was like growing her own special strain and making edibles out of it, and she met up with this undercover cop who had asked her for some of her edibles, and she has on her social media proof of how far this undercover cop went to gain her trust. Like saying, "Oh, I love all this activism that you're doing. I really wish I could connect with it," and all that. So she thought she was selling to, or not selling, gifting to and receiving a donation from a fellow activist. And so this brought up in the Westward, the journalists of the Westward have a very long memory. It's kind of like I have a long memory here on YouTube. But their memory stretches for decades on this topic of police infiltrating activist movements. And how there's this thing called the Denver Spy Files. This was a thing back in 2002, prior to YouTube, where a lot of activists learned that there were files on them, and there was such a stink made out of it that Wellington Webb, the mayor of Denver at the time, he decided that he was going to make everyone's files accessible by them. So you could walk up to City Hall and request your own file for reading it. And it got me to thinking, if they're actually compiling files on everyone, what would my file look like? And would it match where I've come to in how I feel about activism nowadays? Because most of the activism that I have supported on this channel, I've come to despise. At least the actors within it, because I don't like their tactics. I don't like some of the rationale as to why they're there. And, I probably would come off as enemy of the state, extremist YouTuber who goes to all these things and he films other people, and he might be a terrorist. The drop down menu in one of the programs that DPD was using had criminal extremist on it, and I have been called a terrorist in the loose sense of the word here on YouTube before, but all I'm really feeling like doing nowadays is filming basically the zeitgeist of the day and putting it out there for posterity. It's not like I'm really invested in any one of these movements actually culminating in anything like revolution or killing people or blowing up shit or anything like that. I'm the furthest from all of those tactics. I just like filming any sort of activism where people are holding signs. Signs that say funny shit. Sometimes wrong shit. I love filming that too. I love putting out their message for everyone to see, even if it's wrong, because that is a learning moment. It's capturing where we are, and I just love doing it. And so I wonder if the Geofeedia program that they were using was picking up on my social media. Am I one of the thousands of people that have files built by this program that basically mislabels people and doesn't really understand the full context of their participation in these movements? Because historically, when people say were businessmen who flew to Mexico and they found out that they were labeled a terrorist, and they were on a no-fly list, and they had to be searched at the airport when they were making regular trips to Mexico, and the Mexicans had information shared to them that called them a criminal extremist, which means something over there. When this happened, it all started with them just basically looking out their window downtown and seeing these protesters, and then them maybe tweeting or posting on their Facebook about it, and that's sad that the police have such a small handle on things that their net is cast so wide that they would have these files on everyone because they can't really winnow it down to those few extremists that might actually do some shit. When I, not even doing this as my full-time job, not even doing this for even 10 hours a week, I could point out basically the 10 most likely suspects, like, right off the top of my head. And if they have police that are they are specializing in this kind of surveillance, then I feel like we're spending a lot of money on not getting a lot of return, because I could do this shit for free for them. Laters.